Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dropped Frames. My name is JP McDaniel, joined by at least one of my co-hosts. The other one's got numbers that are too good for the show, so he's not here this week.
Oh,
yeah, too good for us.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm co, apparently.
Yeah, you were co. It's not my fault. That was Daniel's fault, 100%. But filling in for him this week, we've got Pokket, who's been on the show
Hi.
before.
I'm Pokket.
That's Pokket down there. And then I thought Jeff had been on the show because Jeff's been on every one of my shows. But it turns out he's never been on Drop Frames before. So welcome to Drop Frames, Jeff.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to just talk to you only about StarCraft. And anytime you have another opinion about another game, I'll just meet you.
I should have got my popcorn again.
Yeah, you should have. You should have. That's going to be... Well, that'll be a very special segment where Zeke just has no idea what's going on whatsoever. At all. And you'll just eat popcorn. Unless you don't have any.
I like the setup because you guys can talk, and then I'll just play... I don't know if you guys have had little brothers, but I'll just play like the drool game over top of Pokket. Drool, and then try and suck it up before it hits them.
Nice. Nice. It's a fun game.
You're only here because of how beautiful you are, Ezekiel, I think.
Ah, thanks.
There you go. There you go. Well, it's been an interesting week on Twitch for sure. We'll get to that in just a bit. There's also a ton of games. Did you guys know there's games out this week? Like,
I heard a rumor.
there's pretty big games out. It's a Fallout 4. Blops is out. Black Ops 3. Got Tomb Raider. Or I'm sorry, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't know why they just didn't call it Tomb Raider 2. I guess because that already exists.
Well, because they
Born
don't
again
do
for the
that
15.
Tomb Raider 2.
They got out of that. They got out of that habit in the '80s. Like they stopped doing like 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and now it's like, you know, The Matrix, and then The Matrix Reloaded, not Matrix 2.
Yeah.
Reloaded, and then the third one in Matrix 3 is Matrix Revolutions. Like, fuck you, just do one.
So
two,
what
three.
you're saying is Fallout is still in the 80s. Because I'd agree with how buggy that game is. I'd agree. I think everyone's just...
A couple of cool ones.
I think everyone's just expecting me to shit on Fallout. I'll definitely do some shitting on Fallout, but it's actually kind of a good game. So there's
That's
that
true.
as well.
Calling it Tomb Raider 2 again is kind of lame.
Yeah. Well, they called the first
Tomb
reboot
Raider
Tomb Raider, right? Like the original reboot was just called
That
Tomb
one
Raider.
should have been Rise of the Tomb Raider because that's where she like goes in to discover that she's really good at it, and
But-
like, oh,
We'll get to it, but she didn't really raid any tombs in that one. She raided like
You
2
could, though.
tombs. No, in the first one it was like 2 tombs, right? There was very little tomb raiding in the first one.
yeah, it wasn't as rewarded either.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. They did a better job with the second one. We'll talk a little bit about BlizzCon because both me and Jeff were there, and I told Blizzard that we would do that. So let's talk about BlizzCon. I'll just be up front.
Comes out.
Jeff, were you there for the opening ceremony, or were you prepping for casting?
We watched the opening ceremony at our stage.
What did let's just skip straight to the movie. What did you think of the movie trailer? Even though it has nothing to do with games, kind of.
Oh God.
Was it that bad for you?
I'm gonna be
I'll let
honest.
you speak.
Like, so yeah, here's the thing. It felt very Blizzard and Warcrafty, which I do like. But and this is gonna sound super nitpicky, but let me explain a little bit and talk about the whole trailer. Everyone was so fucking clean. Everyone. Like, the orcs were not covered in grime. They had immaculate clothing. The armor was not pocked. It was not dirty. It was not battle-worn. And the entire ambiance of the movie, for me, because it was so green screeny and CGI and everyone was so clean, was like a really high-end production, like Broadway does Warcraft or something like that. Or like, it was just like, it was really, really weird for me to look at. And
Now, I would go see that.
A Broadway production of
the
Warcraft?
musical. Also, like,
I have a hidden secret. I'm a
Big musical
theater.
guy? Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
the CGI on it's incredible. It's really good CGI. But like the CGI on the orcs' faces, I believe it's a projected image combined with not necessarily animatronics, but like heavy makeup, prosthetics. But it creates this thing where you can like, it's kind of like when I look at my bulldog Barrison, like I feel like I can see a human behind his face a little bit. It's really weird, and with the orcs, it's weird. And then in the preview, they hold up this baby orc.
That thing looked like Yoda.
And that was like some of the worst CGI I'd ever seen. It's like fucking neon.
It was too cute.
Yeah, but it's a cute orc baby.
Let's see if I can
It's
find
too cute. It's not supposed to be that cute.
And the story's like for my family and for my people, I will strike an alliance. And I'm like, maybe if I played World of Warcraft, I would give a shit about what like the orc people and stuff like that. But in movies, like you can humanize them a little bit, I think, but to really drive it home into like the sentimental level, where there's the introduction of the sexy, good-looking orc, there's the orc baby, there's
here's the orc baby right here.
Leader. Like all of it, like made me like, wait a second, is this like, are they really driving home that the orcs are the good guys in this movie, and we're really supposed to care about them? Because
I don't think the orcs or the humans are the good guys. I think they're both just kind of like shitty. I mean, I've kind of always thought that about Warcraft, is like neither side is quote unquote good.
Yeah,
I feel like they're gonna spin it that way too. Like neither side's good or bad. That they're just gonna. I heard a rumor that before it was very one-sided, and they really only showed the humans or something. Like, and then someone took it over, and then like, it was one-sided, but then they made it more even, showing both sides. Since that's what the actual like, at least World of Warcraft lore was about.
Yeah.
I mean, if Blizzard came out with, Lost Vikings the movie, and they charged twice for it, I would go see it because it's a Blizzard thing. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to, for me, fall into the category of my expectations are really, really high and hopeful. And then this preview just simply didn't do it for me. Like, it was just, I did not like it, to be honest. The battle stuff looked really cool.
Yeah.
Jumping on a griffin and riding around and, clawing at people, picking up and clawing. Yeah. That's
I kind of hope that's what it is just hour and a half, 2 hours of just like a little bit of talking and then a lot of fighting.
I get the sense it won't be, though. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
I think I want it to do well because I want to see like the progression of the story that branches into like what I experienced in World of Warcraft. Because I really did like that lore, especially Arthas. Like one of my favorite parts of it was Arthas, and I really want that to. But I understand that they have to do like the backstory, otherwise people will be like, "We have no idea what they're."
Yeah, what is all this shit? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's tough, and that's like the fault line, or not fault line, but like the trap with war movies. Yeah. Either it goes too far into the war direction where you don't really care about anybody because it's just war, or you go too far into the character direction, but everyone came there expecting war, and then it's like, this is a weird setting for an orc sex scene. Like this is. I don't care about your orc baby. Like like in the lore,
I really hope there's not
that die pretty quick. Like who cares? But if you go down the middle and it's like compelling characters that you care about, and then there's war all around it, that's usually a pretty great movie. And hopefully they strike that chord.
Yeah, I hope they do an orc sex scene, but they just use
they
just do the peon noises for Warcraft 3, so it's just like work. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I imagine like an orc sex scene too would be very powerful. Like comes in the door, jumps from the door, rips off pants midair, and then plunges like just
oh god
from the door frame.
Oh
yeah,
that's all for free, Blizzard.
I wrote my fan fiction based on this.
Exactly. But it looks pretty cool. I still think the best thing in that entire opening at BlizzCon was either the World of Warcraft CG trailer or the intro trailer for the new expansion, or the actual the StarCraft launch trailer that they showed where Rainer's like talking about how it's the end of whatever and like kind of hyping that up. That got me super hyped to play the actual expansion or the Legacy of the Void. I don't even know if it's an expansion anymore.
They how make the best videos.
They nailed that. It was awesome.
I'm disappointed. See, going back to the Warcraft trailer, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." But then I went and I watched the World of Warcraft expansion trailer, and I was like, "Oh my gosh,
yeah, it's so good, right?" Like everyone thought he was gonna die in the water, and like they're in the crowd in the actual in the main theater. Everyone was like, "Is he gonna?" Like everyone was. You could hear audible gasp when he was in the water because they were like, "Is he gonna die? Like, is this actually gonna happen?" And then he didn't die, and it was still.
And the Blizzard's like, "Just kidding. We kill no main characters ever. Don't worry about it."
Well, it blew my mind. Like, why don't they do the movie like that? Like, they do such an amazing job with the CGI trailers that I was like, this is more entertaining than the movie trailer was.
Yeah,
I agree.
So good.
It was really good. And then the Legacy of the Void trailer where Jim Raynor's just kind of like calmly talking over these amazing looking sequences that you've seen before, but still when you see him in that sequence, it was fucking awesome. I'm super hyped to play. I still haven't played the campaign, Jeff. You played the campaign of that. We can get into that a little bit. You were kind of poo-pooing on it last night.
Yeah. Do you want to jump? Do you want to jump into it?
Let's just jump into it. Yeah, we're gonna be all over the place today, anyways.
Sure. So let me preface this by saying the single player experience is really fun, like an RTS game, and the different ways to try to get a person to play through that, really fun. I think they went a little bit too kind of almost hero-y in HOTS, like you were doing some weird boss fights where it's like dodging things and stuff like that. Anyways, it was a different approach. This one was very much so, this is Legacy of the Void. It's an RTS. It's going to be really hard. We're going to tell a story throughout it. You're going to get new units. You're going to level up stuff. Like, just all of it came together really well. So I'm not selling it like it's the new, Witcher 3, or you're going to have this The Last of Us experience where you're crying into your hands at the end of it. But it's just a great single-player RTS, so a good experience. Story-wise, absolutely terrible. Like, just really bad. So
what is it well, not specifically, but is it how they get to the end? Is it like, what is?
Oh, it's JP. It is.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
It's a cacophony. You should, and I want you to experience it. It's a cacophony of bad. It's like,
okay.
So there's this weird religious tension in it where the Protoss are kind of like they're chopping off their hair because the Kala, which they're all attached to, which is kind of like their spiritual realm or something like that they share information and pass down through generations, gets infested by Amon. So they're cutting that off. Then there's the Tal'Darim, which are the fanatical religious zealots. They find out that he's a bad guy in the end. They're like, he promised us ascension. We were killing everyone in the galaxy, and it turns out he was betraying us too. So yeah, we'll ally with you. And the Protoss are like, well, we're Protoss. Come on over. Like, we don't give a fuck. So they're all friends again, I guess. And then they're fighting. Jim Raynor shows up like 3 different times, and he's just like, hey, we're in a pile of shit. You want to help out? We're like, yeah, okay. And we help him out. He's like, cool. I'll see you guys later. Kerrigan shows up one time, and she's at some temple that they just like very barely discovered and traveled to, but she's already there.
Oh.
She gets flung through a wall. She's fighting a hybrid, kills him, and is like, yeah, I knew it all along. We gotta be friends, Artanis. And Artanis is like, well, fuck, we're Protoss. We're friends with everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Like, forget about the genocide that the two of us were doing for the last, however long StarCraft has been. You said there's a bad guy. I'm down for it. Let's fucking do it. So they ally up. They go fight. And the entire, like, the whole story is Amon is like, it's exactly, in many ways, God, what is that game called? What is the game called? I'm really, it's weird that I'm blanking on this. The Shepard.
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I blanked on that. Anyways, it's Mass Effect where... Do you want me to spoil it? I'm kind of getting into it.
No. I mean, the chat's already crying for spoilers, so don't do it. Yeah,
Oh
I wouldn't be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyways,
I don't think he spoiled really anything if you've played the games prior, because you would expect everything that Jeff just said. But on the flip side, Jesse Cox yesterday was saying that, like, he's loving it. I don't know how far he is, but he said it was fantastic.
He loves the story.
Yeah, that was his direct tweet.
To be
Said he's loving it.
fair,
Oh my
Jesse
God.
Cox has admitted multiple times that he's a huge fanboy of Blizzard. So
Also, like,
He
directly
is.
sponsored by Blizzard and stuff. Like, I'm a huge fanboy of Blizzard too, but I think
no, but he's like a fanboy that can't see no wrong.
on that
And
level.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just like he's
Sure.
admitted that. So
Well, it's
No,
like
it's
being
just-
in a bad relationship. You kind of like make excuses, like, oh, he's just angry sometimes. It's okay. He's not.
I fell down.
He's mad. It's okay.
it's just a really. I will say this: in Legacy of the Void, the story is more complex than it was in the other two, and I will spoil that.
And
'cause those games
that's actually
5
saying a
years,
lot,
so
because they were pretty...
they were terrible.
Well, they were pretty complicated in the other games.
Kind of, but like it boiled down to Jim and Kerrigan's space romance and the politics that follow from therein. Like, and that was really hard for me to get around. Like, Kerrigan gets mad 3 or 4 different times and just becomes, she just kills everyone, like literally everyone.
Yeah.
And then the compelling story in HOTS is they're like, hey, whoa, there's millions of people down there. Can you give us some time? And the look she gives every time is like, you have 1 hour. And they're like, oh, thank you, Kerrigan. Jesus, I thought she was just gonna kill everyone. Oh man.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to care about that. Like, it's just very weird to me. And then there's like these scenes where Jim like kicks in the door, about to kill a bad guy, and Kerrigan's like, no, let me do it. And she kills him, and then they're like, they hold hands, like, well, what are you gonna do now? And then she flies off. She's like, well, I gotta go kill more people. And he's like, no, you do you.
What, you were playing on Brutal, I assume?
Yes.
Did you play the other campaigns on Brutal?
I played Hots on Brutal, and I played Wings Liberty on Hard because I hated the lava level, but it turns out
that the lava level was the worst.
I should have done it on
Yeah. What how is the difficulty of this? Because some people are saying it was harder than.
It's the hardest one for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because it's Protoss, or is it just because it's the hardest one? Like some of the mission objectives.
I think they did a much better job with level design. Like it's just very it's one of those things where a lot of the times when you leave your base, they're attacking you, and then that's annoying, but you kind of figure that out. And then it's very army composition wise. Like if your army composition just doesn't make sense for that level, you're gonna have a much harder time. There's a couple times where I would fail and be like, oh, I need this thing, and then I would make my army based on that, and then I would win. So it's stuff like that. And I imagine for people that are less RTS oriented, that'll be more of a difficult thing to figure out.
I know with now I'm blanking on whatever the first one was called, StarCraft 2.
Wings of Liberty.
Wings of Liberty, yeah. With Wings of Liberty, you could pretty much make Medic and Marine and do pretty well on almost every level. Yes. Like you could make two units. Yeah, it's steamroll everything. But I'm glad to hear that's not the case in this one. And I also wonder if they're doing that because it doesn't transfer to the multiplayer, and so they're kind of trying to teach you some of that stuff so that if you do go into the multiplayer after playing the single player, you kind of understand what you're supposed to be making if you see a certain unit.
Yeah, I think there's some of that. I think honestly they just kind of learn from the other two, and it's it's the level up system. So that's the other kind of cool thing too. In single player, you have the Spear of Adune's kind of your auxiliary support thing. You're upgrading your units just like in the other games, but there's a lot of different things going on, and it feels really cool because there's enough tech paths and there's enough. Like the joke that everyone makes is the Solonite or Solidite or whatever it's called. It's like they're always like, oh, there's more Solidite. Like they get kind of cracky about it, but like I finished the game and I didn't have several things unlocked at all. And,
oh wow!
And then for each unit, there's 3 different choices at the end of what kind of unit, and they do extremely different things, which I thought was really cool too.
That's cool.
It's not like even it would be flat out a different unit. There, like for the carrier class, there was Carrier Tempest and then Mothership, but the Mothership's very different from multiplayer. The Stalker was a Stalker Dragoon and Adept. So there's a lot of variety in the game, and there's pros and cons, and they're very different. So you can have very different experiences.
I'm kind of excited to play it. I love doing the single player stuff in StarCraft. It's awesome. I feel like for Zeke and Pokket, like, what's the pitch for people that have no interest in StarCraft, Jeff? The Pokket and Zeeks of the world.
So the cool thing about StarCraft, they're doing an amazing job, is like the single player is fun, and because of the difficulty levels, you guys you can kind of cater to your experience. You're like, I don't really want to be challenged. I just want to play through this and see amazing.
I just want to make big units,
which the game is riddled with, and they do a much better job too of in-game graphic cutscenes. Like in the past, those like I think back to Warcraft 3, where there's the characters like, "Behold, brothers, all is here," and you're like, "Oh, this is terrible." But now it's like it's actually really high quality. So the single player is catered to your experience, really fun, very different. I would say somewhere between like 6 to 10 hours experience of single player, which is about the norm for now.
Yeah.
The reason why this game is a bargain is you don't need the other games to play it. It comes with Archon mode, which is really social, really fun. So that's playing single player ranked or unranked matches with a friend where you're controlling 2 people are controlling 1 army.
Is it only 2 people max?
No, actually, I think it is 2, but don't quote me on that. Which is really, really cool. And then if, like, let's say, playing 1v1 or even this Archon is not my thing, there's Allied Commanders, which is kind of a separate single player where you do co-op missions together, but they're Blizzard made, so they're not just like, kill your opponent and their buildings, and that's the mission. It's complex, fun stuff. And your commanders do different things as well. So, like, your Artanis has a Spear of Adune, Raynor has a battle cruiser, Kerrigan is just Kerrigan on the field, but they're like very different flavors, and there's gonna be others that are unlocked as well.
And that you don't even have to own the game for that, right? You can just
I think have to own the game.
Wait, you don't have to own the game for what?
Because I remember Total Biscuit, like his promotional video that they're doing for Allied Commander, he was like, "This is all you can just download this right now and play."
That's probably true. They're doing a lot of that. Like the entire arcade is open at any time and free, and it's
that's good.
Actually, ridiculous how good that is.
Yeah, that's a lot of game just to throw out there for free. But
I played it before and I streamed it randomly.
Yeah.
Like basically my first time ever playing, and I also streamed it, was a terrible idea. The amount of
I would totally agree with you.
Yeah, no, Zeke did the same, right? Didn't you do the same?
I did the same exact thing. There's no shortage of people coming in going like, what the fuck is this guy? He's not even doing the blah, 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 and he won't blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He doesn't do Shakespeare.
That's pretty much what I got.
Most games, though, like there are those people that are like,
well, most competitive games for sure.
Yeah, I'd say StarCraft, Hearthstone, League, CS:GO, like those. But like, the StarCraft people, they were so angry at me because they're like, you don't know how to play.
Yeah, I can see that.
So weird. It's like, of all those games, the one that you would think would have built-in compassion, because this is like completely recognized as the hardest game in even genre to play, is RTF. Like,
but oh well. How's the?
You could be amazing at the game, and people are still gonna go in your chat and be like, "You suck."
Oh yeah, that still happens to Jeff all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I finally banned half of Twitch, so I think actually it's not happening.
Nice.
I've insulated myself from it.
Nice. What about the multiplayer? Have you been jumping into that a lot after beating the single player?
I have not yet.
Okay.
I've been playing the single player just because post BlizzCon I actually have this weird like body wipe exhaustion, so I've
Well, you cast it for 10 days or some crazy shit like that, so it makes sense.
It's been intense. But they're doing really cool things with even the multiplayer that some of these people might get excited about. Things like they're going to be implementing separate MMRs. So if you're, which I think is like this really subtle, brilliant things. Like, let's say I'm a Protoss player. Cool, I play Protoss. But, I also would like to try out some Zerg. In the past, you'd have to play unranked or a different account, or just lose games on your main account, which nobody wants to do on ladder, right? So now, the second I switch to Terran or Zerg or whatever, Protoss, it's a separate name on a separate part of it's the same name, but it's duplicated with that MMR of that race.
Interesting.
So I can at leisure with one account play all the races and not worry about tanking the MMR and ladder rating of the race that I care about.
Does it share bonus pool?
They're just separate. They're like separate logins, if you'll believe that.
Oh,
so I'm sure
okay.
They'll have different bonus pools as well.
Interesting.
That's
cool
and
stuff.
then as far as multiplayer, there's also automated tournaments, which are catered to your level. So if you're like Ezekiel, who's probably a high grandmaster or something like that, you'll be in the upper echelons.
Close.
Pokket, who she plays it a second time, will be probably like mid diamond or so. She can play in those, and that's kind of cool too, because it's a little bit of the competitive atmosphere. It's just something different from ladder too. Yeah, I was being.
Oh, you're making a joke.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's some StarCraft humor.
Pocket. Come on.
Some StarCraft humor for you.
It's good, but no, I haven't played it yet, unfortunately. But I will be. I have one more mission in the prologue missions, which you unlock after you beat the single player, which is cool.
Epilogue.
God damn, you're right.
Yeah, yes, not prologue. Prologue's before. Anyways, well, that's cool. I'll probably be jumping into the single player sometime this week. I just got the. We were talking about before the show, but I just got the collector's edition. But I have the other two that are signed by the entire dev team, and this one's not signed, Jeff.
Are you gonna stream it?
Probably, yeah. But I'm very fearful as well.
Chat going, you suck.
Well, see, it's different for me because I was like heavily embedded in the StarCraft community, but then I left. So for me, it's not you suck. It's like, welcome back for the money grab, motherfucker. Like it's that type of that type of dialogue. So I have to I got to brace myself and prepare myself for that, and then I'll probably play.
I think you'll be okay. I mean, there'll obviously be those trolls that say that, but there have been people that have returned. Like I guess tomorrow, Day 9 is going to stream it, which he hasn't streamed any StarCraft in, I want to say, literally 2 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And there's other people doing it as well, and it's just one of those things where I think the culture has finally been eased into the idea that there are people that literally stream for a living, if you guys can believe it. Can you fucking believe these kids these days? And what that means is when a big game comes out, they play it. And I think people, for a while, were jumping in streams and being like, oh, look who's fucking playing Metal Gear Solid 5 now. And then that person so by themselves and getting yelled at by everybody else, they were like, oh.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I'll probably play that this week. I guess kind of wrapping up BlizzCon, they did some other Overwatch announcements. They announced 3 heroes that I felt like they there's 21 heroes now, max. I felt like they held back those 3 heroes so they'd have something to announce at BlizzCon. Because
they announced they're not releasing them regularly as well, though.
What do you mean?
For Overwatch, that they're not gonna. It's not gonna be like Heroes of the Storm where they released heroes. You know.
Oh,
like,
over time,
yeah, over time. Yeah. I was actually kind of like, what? That sucks.
Yeah.
It's interesting to limit themselves that way.
It's also interesting because they announced it's going to be a. I think is it a $40 game? Like I never saw a price point. Blizzard never saw or never said how much it's going to be, but it's going to be a boxed game.
Maybe it leaked or something like that, but the number is 40.
That's what I had heard. That's why I said that, but I hope that's correct.
Yeah, a couple things on that. Like I think you're absolutely right. They released the 3 characters to have the big hoorah at BlizzCon. They did say that when you buy the game, it's going to have 21 characters. They locked that in as well. And then I agree with Pokket. They kind of said that they're not going to be rolling out active characters. And I think, in my opinion, that is because, again, the kind of golden cow is having an esport game. And if you constantly release characters, it's a little bit hard. But they are doing that with heroes. But I agree also that it's just and also the balance of an FPS like composition based game is precarious, so you gotta be kind of careful with that. But
I think it's just gonna end up they're always gonna use the same people anyway. I think I like that League does it because it does change it up a little bit sometimes when you're like, oh, they're using this one now. And
yeah.
Like, yay, finally! I'm so tired of seeing the same 5 champions or 10.
I think they will release characters. It's just I think what they're saying is like don't expect it to be like twice a month or once a month.
I imagine it'll be with expansions.
Yeah, like character packs or something like that, for sure.
Yeah.
Like release a map and then a character with it or some shit. Who knows?
They also announced the Origins box, which I got to be honest, like and I'm not being pessimistic, I don't think, but I feel like that was a little bit underwhelming. Like the skins were not super amazing to me, and I think that that's like the perfect skin game. You can go really crazy with that and make things look amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, when they said that there's one above the Origins edition, which I think is just called the Collector's Edition. And it comes with an Elite 76 or Soldier 76 statue. Like, why Soldiers? Of all the heroes, why pick the most the most Call of Duty-fied hero of the entire? Like, why not go with someone that has a badass character design that's not Tracer?
Why not go with Tracer? Tracer's really popular.
Well, that's like the face of the game, I think, is who
they
what
still
they've done
Tracer
with that.
statue.
Yeah, there's already a Tracer statue out there for like $150. You can get it.
But I agree with you, Pocket. Like, why not perhaps a Winston or like Reinhardt's really?
Reinhardt would have been amazing.
Would be awesome.
Yeah, I would have bought it immediately.
I would have, yeah.
But now it's like, I don't know. It's
76 is like Cal Ripken with Cyclops eyes and a Halo gun. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
That's what I wish my uncle looked like.
The other funny thing that I read about, or that I was reading on the internet as soon as they announced it's like a $40 base game, was everyone was like, "Is this the death of free to play?" It's
my God.
What? Like, what are you talking about? It's just Blizzard. Like, they don't set trends for the entire world of video games. I mean, sometimes they do, but not in this regard. Like, I don't know why people are saying that.
Yeah, it's weird that. Not weird, actually. I guess at this point I kind of expect it, but the $40 price point really is not controversial for me. And I guess it's because, and I think I can sympathize with everyone here unless Pocket's actually 17 years old. I don't know how old you are, but like everyone here, at least, and Ezekiel, even before this time, grew up playing games and paying $60 or $50 for each one.
Yeah.
Well, my parents did.
Fine. Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. Everyone's parents did, yeah.
So Ezekiel did. But yeah, like... It's like totally okay with me, and that lately that boat has been rocked where it's like there's this strange expectation that you should almost pay nothing for the box of your game, and then if you want you can get nickel and dime for $3, $4, $5 at a time after that, and that is certainly a very successful business model, so there's no way to knock it, but I really don't think or want all games to follow that, because that is not what I enjoy. I really like the idea of grabbing Fallout 4 and being like, I'm going to go play that game now and have an awesome time. Not like, well, everyone's got it, but if I want to unlock the last 3/4 of the levels or this new skin that everyone has or like these guns that really advantage you in this certain area, I got to get that card out and start fucking swiping it again. So $40 to me is a bargain.
I think that's a bargain for sure.
How good the game is, too.
It's really good.
That's the other thing is like, if this was a cheap-ass, terrible game, then yeah, I would be a little bit upset at the price point. But this is a Blizzard-backed game that has been in design for years. And for everyone that's watched streams, or if you're lucky enough to have it, It's smooth. It's gorgeous. It's extremely fun. And it was weird because I had this argument with a person where they're like, oh, I don't know, that's like too expensive for me. I would have expected 25 or 30 bucks. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what is $10 more? I'm like, skip a latte. Don't go to a movie. And he's like, well, you make that joke, but honestly, like, if we were to evaluate it against other games, I'm like, no, like, stop. It's 40 bucks for a game you're going to play 100 hours of and then put away forever. If you're that guy. People like us, I'm going to play it for 1,000.
I've already put in 100 hours to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Let's just put it like this. I'd rather spend $40 than the thousands of dollars I've spent in League. Just saying.
Yeah.
I've spent thousands in League.
For sure.
So.
And I think for that person, I have a feeling this game will offer that too. Like, I think there will be tons of skins, just like in Heroes. I think there'll be cosmetic weapons and stuff like that. I feel like if you want to spend more money, you're going to have that option. But at the same time, I think you can pick it up for 40 and then probably be okay.
Yeah, I would agree. The other thing that they, of course, talked about was World of Warcraft Legion. Looks like a return to form for WoW. Pokket, you're probably the most connected to World of Warcraft here. You into it? Are you playing Legion?
More than you, JP?
Pokket might be more into it than I am.
Wow.
We'd have to fight. We'd have to fight to see who's more into it.
What's the last expansion you really got into?
I mean, I've played every expansion. Well, I've played every expansion for like 3 weeks, but I guess the last expansion I was really into was probably the Panda one, whatever that one was called.
Pandaria?
Yeah, Pandaria. Yeah, Mr. Pandaria.
That's I didn't the last expansion I think I got into was Cataclysm. That's also the one that I pretty much quit. I was just like, man, WoW's changed too much. Because I went off, I was so hype in Wrath. Wrath was like...
Yeah, same here. It's awesome.
And in Cataclysm, I was just like, man, I don't know if I like this. And then Pandaria, I was like, they're adding pandas? This is stupid. So I quit.
A girl is saying pandas are stupid?
Yeah, but like Shaolin pandas, man.
Yeah, like Kung Fu
pandas.
pandas.
You follow that after like Arthas and
the Arthas storyline was so good.
It's okay, it's a giant, fire breathing dragon who's pissed off. But then it's like, no, now fluffy panda, and you're like, oh man. And I just really I got into the last expansion a little bit. I can't remember what it was called. What was it called?
Warlords of Draenor?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I got into the story of that one, but it just kind of fell off for me towards the end. But I am looking forward to Legion, at least trying it out.
Yeah.
'Cause why not?
It looks pretty good. And I mean that trailer was so good.
Just,
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it just feels like the WoW experience right now is like these gigantic valleys and plateaus of like it's coming out. Come on back, everyone. We promise it'll be more, not necessarily competitive, but like there's gonna be unique armor that's really cool and this cool storyline. Everyone comes back, and then like with all these latest additions, it's very quickly like, all right, I leveled up and I'm gone. Like I'm just gone.
I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, at least from as a consumer perspective. But maybe for Blizzard, they're like, you should maybe stay like a month or two, stay like a month, maybe 3 months. Maybe you'll try that.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I just feel like that's the trend. Whereas in the past,
I would agree.
The beginning of WoW was like it was a lifestyle. It was a culture. It was like I play WoW, and
I also feel like
I raid on weekends. I met my friends there, and we socialized.
I feel like the people who play WoW nowadays or the people that do what you just said with the valleys and plateaus is that they've played so much of it that it's not new like it was back in the day, that they know what to expect. They know exactly what they want. They get exactly what they want in a shorter amount of time, and then they're just like, all right, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of where the WoW community is at. But they're doing a lot of new things with Legion. Like the artifact weapon seems pretty cool, where everyone's going to have like something that they can do as a solo experience to level up their own weapon. That seems like it's going to be pretty cool. And they're changing up a lot of stuff, like with PvP. They're introducing a brand new entire system there, which they've kind of done for every expansion, but this one seems like it's going to be realistically good. So we'll have to see.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. I'll probably play it. The most attached I've ever been to in MMO's lore has been Wrath of the Lich King. That was like the most I ever got. In fact, that's why I never raided before that. And I raided because I wanted to beat the Lich King. That is the only reason.
Yeah.
And I even pug raided, which is an awful idea.
That's terrible. Don't do that. Don't ever do that.
No, I was pulling my hair out for months. It was awful. And then I found out you can still get the title afterwards. That was really dumb. Anyway,
I think you're hitting on something that I've heard a lot of people say, and that's that they really miss the old WoW where it was like, if you had badass armor or you accomplished a raid, it was kind of unique and awesome that you did that. Whereas it feels like now the game is a lot more like across all levels mediocre. Like, you want that badass armor? Well, you don't have to work that hard, but it's right over there, you know? And like everyone's got the badass armor, everyone's got the badass weapons, everyone's the highest level. And then when you homogenize and mediocreize everything like that, what's special? What's to look for? What's exciting?
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to do that for the player base as large as that game, right? So I see both sides of it for sure. I see both sides of it.
I think it kind of ruined it though for like the hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, which is fine if if you're going after money, then which companies want money as well, and that's fine. But it is kind of disappointing when it's like, wow, I got really into the raiding, I loved the PvP, and nothing.
Yeah.
Like Cataclysm was. I'm sorry if people liked it, but it was awful, I think. And then Pandaria was just boring. I just got bored. The Warlords was like at least entertaining. I thought they did a good job with the questing as you're leveling up. That was amazing. They did a good job at minimal cutscenes, but still having them there to get you invested into the story. I really think they did a good job with that, but I don't think anything's beat Wrath for me.
I would go back to what you said though, JP, because I fully agree with you. It's like the player base, but I actually, yes, it's the size of the player base, but I also think it's the kind of player base. Like, not to get too off subject, but this is like my pet. This is my little baby that I've been cultivating for years now, and I have this. It's not even that amazing of a theory, but it's the overarching concept that gamers these days, the majority, the generic gamer, and that's not necessarily speaking to almost anyone here.
The non-hardcore.
Right.
Yeah.
They in general want an easier, more rewarding game that has a faster experience. Like they don't necessarily want to play for 30 or 40 hours to get to the end goal. They need to be rewarded pretty immediately. And if the game is punishing or even like unobtainable, like old WoW, then it kind of turns them off. They're like, no, I'd rather have things right now. And I think that's the general concept, and you're seeing this applied to a lot of games in different ways. Like an RTS that literally is supposed to be really fucking hard, but at the same time is like, no, newbie, no, come over here, come here, like, and they pat him on the head, and they're like, here, you can play the friendlier version. Yeah. And then WoW, just in general, is for the years, it's gotten away from this raid. You have to have your coordinated hardcore team together with different kind of, like very difficult, very hard to do. There's like one of those or two of those in each expansion, whereas in the past it was almost the entire game towards the end, of course.
Yeah, I would agree. I agree with everything you said. I don't think there's an argument or a discussion to be had. I just agree with what you said.
Unfortunately, there's not.
No, I played WoW religiously until right up until the what came after Wrath of the Lich King.
That was
the Black Dragon one, right?
Oh yeah, that was Jesus Christ, I'm blanking on all this.
Cataclysm?
Yeah, Cataclysm. What? Yeah, it was Cataclysm.
Yeah, I played up until that, and then I stopped playing. I didn't play, but for like a year and a half, that's all I did was work WoW. Mm-hmm. And I did raids and I did everything, and then I don't know, man, just kind of fell out of love with it, and nothing really like has drawn me back into it.
Yeah. You and 30 other million people, man.
Yeah. Right. No, the numbers don't lie, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was BlizzCon. Overall, I thought the opening ceremony they pretty much nailed everything. The movie, hit or miss. I think you could leave that out of there and it would still be an awesome opening ceremony.
We're all gonna go see it.
We're all gonna go see it for sure. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I had a fun time there. It was fun seeing everyone. It's also fun, and Jeff, you kind of experienced this where a lot of people from like my old days in the esports are meeting all the new people that I hang out with now at Twitch, and kind of the meeting of those two groups is always a lot of fun. Because I just kind of like...
You guys have like a Sharks and Jets thing? Like,
kind of, yeah.
I did like do dance fight.
Yeah, it's fun like introducing everyone one by one, going down the line, because there was a lot of like mingling in between those two groups for me.
You're kind of at the cutting edge though, JP. Like there is that blending that's occurring right now anyways. Like it used to be, it was just esports that drove games for the most part. Like the people that were pioneering individual, I'm a variety gamer kind of stuff was on the smaller scale. And now it's neck and neck. Like when these games are released, they go out to the streamers, Overwatch, and they're like, hey, we want you guys to play this because you're awesome. You have huge communities. But at the same time, they're also geared towards esports. And we're seeing those people melding now. Like I hosted the with Summit and Josh OG.
What was that?
Mad Max, the Mad Max
yeah.
video.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an esports guy. They are, they're variety streamers, and it was just awesome and really fun and a good event. And there's just going to be more of that because, like, the hosting and personalities of esports, and then the personalities and communities of variety games have a lot to offer each other, and I think that's going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Someone in the chat brought up a great point. We've already spent 45 minutes on BlizzCon, and we got a lot of shit to talk about. But honestly, the coolest thing that they announced at all of BlizzCon was the fact that they're putting a hero into Heroes of the Storm that is 2 people on 1 hero.
Oh,
And
God.
the only people that got it were the people that went to BlizzCon. So the way it works is if you play that hero with 2 people that don't have the hero, then they get the hero. And so it's going to spread like a virus throughout Heroes of the Storm. But it's so fucking smart for Blizzard to have done that. And you've seen this in World of Warcraft, which I think is kind of where they got this from, with things like the auction house virus, where it spread across the server. And actually, that case study is used by like virus researchers worldwide. Like it's a great case study on how things spread. But I really want to see what that looks like in game because it's 1 hero played by 2 people.
And
in a MOBA.
So
But basically,
cool.
one person has to have it, and then another person can just play whether they have it or not.
Well,
and then
you choose someone. You choose someone to play with you in the game,
Okay.
and then if you do that with if they do that 2 times, then they get the hero.
Bro, when it comes to like viral marketing, this is my thing. Like 9 Inch Nails releasing one of their albums, like piecemeal. Like there was a data file found in a bathroom in a concert in Brazil, and the whole time I'm like, it's so smart. Now there's gonna be people like, hey, I heard you have Cho'Gall. Let's play tonight.
Yeah.
Heroes, you and me, we're playing. And then that guy gets it, and someone's like, I heard you got the Cho'Gall. I saw it. You were streaming it the other day. Can I get in a game with you? And meanwhile, Blizzard behind their mountains of money is like, and there's gonna be just more of this shit. Like it's perfect. When you release a character that's charged $5, people talk about the character exclusively. But if you release a cool character in a cool way, people are talking about the fucking way it's released now. It's like twice the mind explosion. It's brilliant on so many levels. So good.
Yeah, so it's a 2-headed. If you didn't play WoW, it's a 2-headed ogre. Sorry, and one is like kind of warrior, and one is magic focused, and that's how it works.
I can just, the game I've played the most out of in my whole life has probably been League of Legends, or Ultima Online, but League of Legends recently. And as someone who's played MOBAs, it's gonna make me rage so bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Make me rage. And that other person, no, you shouldn't have used that. You should. Oh my God, now we're dead. It's all your fault.
But Pokket, that's so Cho'Gall. The 2 heads yelling at each other and being like stressed out. That's it.
I know, but it's gonna. I mean,
You're doing it.
The character they picked is perfect, but as a player, I'm just gonna it's gonna be throw my headset worthy.
They got you. I can already feel it.
They got me.
Yeah.
I'm that player.
2 of you yelling at each other while playing a single character with 2 people on it, spreading like a virus. So good.
I can imagine it. The pain now.
Apparently how it works is, and I didn't know this, the Cho head controls Cho'Gall's movement. Wherever Cho goes, Gall follows.
Yeah.
When Cho and Gall stop arguing and work together, they can set up powerful combos. So I guess one player only controls the movement and has very little abilities.
The way it was described to me is one of them is a global buffer too, like a global impact, kind of like an. I'm sorry, I don't know where my brain is. I must just be so tired. But Alberoth or whatever the guy's name is, the Zerg global guy in Heroes. They're gonna have like a global impact on the game, and the other one is kind of more of a right there.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely go and check that out just because I want to see how crazy that is in a MOBA where 2 people are playing 1 hero. Because, like, for balance reasons, I don't even know how that's going to work. Like, is this hero going to be usable in tournaments? Like,
Yeah, they all are supposed to.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Abathur, thank you, Chad. I appreciate it.
Oh, Abathur. Okay, that's what you're talking about.
I hate when I can't think of a name.
I could see a team doing really well with Cho'Gall, like organized people who just have to know each other. So I could see that doing well. But like, imagine me with like a pug. Oh man.
Not a good time.
No, I'd probably get reported
you gotta
that match.
that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was BlizzCon. Let's talk about Fallout 4 so we can get Zeke in the discussion. What? I'm just gonna start playing this, and you can tell me what was going on, Zeke. What the hell is this?
Just to try and stand out from everybody else who is playing it.
Everyone on Twitch.
And because I was trying to ride the Bob Ross, oddly enough, hype from Twitch. I did like a little Bob Ross cosplay through to start my. I did about 6 hours of Bob Ross, and this was the opening to the Fallout 4 stream, and I had this idea that is. I mean, it's been done before, but I figured I'd take it and use it. But I had a shitload of fun playing as Bob Ross and trying to make the choices that Bob Ross would make. I made my character look like him as best I could. Wow. But I opened with a happy little painting.
Okay.
Some happy little trees.
Oh, I see what you're doing here.
Trees. Yeah, see, it's been done before. And I used my magic paint to create this painting.
I'm gonna just skip ahead here because I'm seeing what you're doing.
Yeah, be my guest. Yep.
Did you just literally paint the entire canvas green?
Yes, I did. That's all I did. I told him I would have used Van Dyke Brown, and I would use Phthalo Blue and Titanium White.
Yeah.
But
oh, I see what you're doing there. Wow.
That's honestly, that's pretty cool. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's pretty brilliant.
So, yeah, so I painted so I looked up like an apocalyptic picture or whatever, and I kind of put that as the background or whatever.
Yeah.
And, so I painted out it was like a burnt out buildings and like, everything's all destroyed and shit. And as the time, like as the clip went on, I talked about like just being in the apocalypse as Bob Ross and stuff. It was just a lot of fun.
You almost lost the painting right there.
Shit almost fell on my easel.
It took you 6 hours to paint that?
No, God, no.
Oh, okay.
That was about 6 minutes. 6 minutes, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No, I played the game Fallout 4 as Bob Ross for 6 hours, and then I couldn't do it anymore because I was starting to fall out of character, and also I was getting to some points where I was starting to get a little bit more angry than Bob Ross would have been. And I took the wig off and started playing it the regular way.
Zeke.
There you go. Well, let's talk about Fallout 4. This will probably be a little bit of a lengthy discussion because I think it's also going to tie into the state of Twitch this past week, which to me is one of the most interesting states of Twitch in a very, very long time. But speaking of Fallout 4 first, I think me and Zeke did you play it at all, Pokket?
I watched a lot. I didn't play it.
Okay. And Jeff, you haven't jumped into it just yet as well, right?
No, but I've been reading about it, and I played the shit out of literally every other Fallout.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll start with Zeke. Zeke, what do you think of Fallout 4?
I think it's exactly what you wanted it to be. I will say I didn't get into like a huge part of it, which I had no idea like how big this part of it was. But there's a building aspect of it. There's like you can create like it's just like Ark or any other like open sandbox game where you can build shit. Like that's a huge part of it that I didn't get onto on cast. But what I did get to on cast was just playing, the quests and doing that kind of stuff. It looks beautiful. It's gorgeous. Like I had on the highest graphics and stuff like that, and I just had tons of fun going through the quests and But I will say that there was nothing super blew me away, I guess. It's a perfect addition to the Fallout series. It's worth the money because you're gonna play it a lot. But I don't know, man. There wasn't that like. I guess the building aspect was the only thing that was really, really super new, and you could spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
But
pretend you're a fanboy, like you just love Fallout. It's your favorite series ever. Would this satisfy you? You think?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
oh yeah, without a doubt. There's nothing. I can't.
Like you wouldn't be disappointed.
No, I can't point to anything that's a big detriment. Like there were a couple of very light bugs. Like every once in a while,
I've heard that's Fallout though.
Well, see, no, that's Bethesda in a game like this.
I think you have I think everyone has very different experiences, both in Fallout and also with the bugs of Fallout. But I'll have my piece. Go ahead and finish yours, Zeke. I didn't mean to cut in.
No, it's okay. I just really don't have anything like really awesome or really.
You're not gushing over it.
No, it's worth the money, but it's my brain wasn't like, oh my god.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it to be like that. I think there are certain people that are having that experience, and good for them. Like I'm happy that they are. But as someone who, and we've talked about this before, and I've jokingly shit on Fallout in the past. Like I didn't play any other Fallout games for more than 20, 30 minutes before this.
Wow.
But what I've been told is this is basically Fallout 3 with a better looking engine. Like they didn't do anything too crazy except for what you're saying in the building aspect. But to remove kind of my Fallout, the enjoyment part of Fallout, because I definitely have been enjoying the game. There's no doubt about that. I put probably only 15 or 16 hours just because there's so much other things right now this week and playing, and I've enjoyed every second of that. This game, like, it is a fucking buggy mess sometimes, man. I've had to like Alt F4 4 or 5 times, and it actually, we were talking about this last night for a little bit on Swan Song at the start. Like, this game discredits me for having a good PC, because if you actually have higher FPS in this game, there are more bugs than just having, like, if you're straight at 60 FPS.
Like a plebeian Ezekiel computer.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like,
hey,
I get like 144 FPS, and that is actually something that hurts me in game, because I'll go up to a terminal, and if my FPS is steady 144, I'll actually come out of the terminal and I can't move. No inputs work whatsoever, and I literally have to either Alt F4 or load right back before that and try to find some way to enter this terminal so that my FPS drops, or I lock it straight at 60. That's kind of fucking dumb that I have to lock a PC game at 60 FPS where I have a computer that should go far and above and beyond that.
Yeah.
And then there's other bugs, or it's not really bugs. It's just kind of like, Jeff Gerstmann described it as jank. I think that's a good reason, or a good term for it. Just like things that randomly happen in the game that a lot of people are just like, well, yeah, it's going to happen because it's an open world game. It's a Fallout game. But it's like, when do you stop making those excuses?
Yeah.
For something like this? Like, most of them are funny. It's funny as hell when the dog is like somehow flipped around and like doing flips in the air and circling and flying up in the sky for no reason whatsoever. But it's like, when is that not acceptable?
And to jump in, I think for me, because 3 and New Vegas was on the previous generation of consoles, you know, like your Xbox 360 and stuff like that, like it's like, now is the time. This is supposed to be the cutting edge new game, and I actually like that they didn't reinvent it. It's not a different system. It's not crazy. I really enjoyed Fallout 3, and I'm glad, kind of like they're doing with XCOM, like the next one's not going to be a completely reskinned different thing. It's going to be very just more of the same, but up.
Yeah.
I actually like that concept. But what I would expect from them going from the previous generation to this generation is slightly better graphics, which I think you get actually. But then, like, to your point, 100%, cut out the bullshit. Like,
yeah.
they took their time on this game. This is the next generation. They made their bajillions of dollars on the previous ones. Like, we got past the stage where people are like, this is not like Fallout 2. It's not over the top and cheeky, and it's, you know, it's I don't like the new graphics. It really, like, those people, you don't hear that as much for this one because that's over and done with. People are like, shut up. We're done with that. We're gonna make new games. But now, like, for my experience, which I haven't played it yet, but all I'm seeing is the bug reports. There's the guy that's walking through a wall, and then it's like the Fallout wallpaper on the other side. And he's like,
yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff like
back
that.
And forth.
The other thing
that really shouldn't happen as much.
The other thing too is I have not touched the console, the PS4 and Xbox One versions, but from all that I'm reading, like, those go down into like 10 FPS in some sequences. Like that, I don't. As someone who is very FPS focused, I guess that's unplayable. Like that is just downright not shippable in a lot of cases for me. And I'm seeing in chat like a lot of people don't have bugs, and I definitely think it's a case by case scenario with just kind of like.
Also, isn't it on console as well?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah. The PS4 and Xbox One versions don't work. Yeah. Well, I mean, sorry, they work, but it's like certain situations, it's very, very low FPS.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my rig isn't terrible. I mean, I have the 980 whatever Ti, stuff like that. I don't have like 2 Titans linked or whatever the fuck you got, but
yeah.
I mean, I run it at like what the max settings of the game allows, and it ran just fine for me. And I had like maybe 2.
Right. Crash. And that's. The game is supposed to be played at 60 FPS. Like there are actual things in the INI files that limit it, and the game's engine is tied to 60 FPS, so that the bugs won't occur. But like the shitty part is if you go higher than that, that's where a lot of the things the issues that I've been having, and that's just it's unfortunate for me. It's not taking away too much from the actual game. Like I said, I have been enjoying it, but it's frustrating when I walk up to a terminal, go to use it, spend 30 or 40 seconds hacking it, and then come out, and then it's just like frozen, and I have to do the entire thing over again, or I just can't. There's been a lot of instances where I'll have to also just turn on no clip so that I can like enter power armor, because the game actually runs faster, like everything is sped up if the FPS is higher. And so when I go to like enter power armor, the avatar will try to like, it'll act like it's running through it, and the animation won't actually go through it because of the clipping, so you have to turn on no clip, so you actually clip through the power armor, then you can enter it. And that doesn't happen at lower FPS. But all in all, like, it's still a fun game. Like, I'm still
so many angry people in chat.
Oh yeah, no, these are all the Fallout fanboys. These are all the Cohs in the chat. And that's kind of why I'm glad Coh's not here this week, because I'd literally be hearing about how Fallout 4 is the greatest game of all time. There's actually issues with this game. Like, if you don't agree with that, or you're blind to that, then this conversation's not for you.
Yeah, and you're not saying it's a bad game. You're
no, not at all.
Had issues with it.
Talking about the part that he had trouble with.
Yeah. And also saying like it's a decent addition, but didn't blow you away, or like, well, excuse me, like I was saying, like it's a good addition to the Fallout series and didn't blow me away. Fallout is already like a fucking great franchise.
Yeah,
and it's a good addition to the franchise is saying it's already a great game. Fallout 3 was like at least a 9 out of 10 for me, at least, if not like closer to 10. Like this is probably like maybe on the same level, maybe a little bit. As far as all games go, it's a fucking awesome game.
Yeah.
But as far as a Fallout game goes, it's right on par.
Yeah. And I think that's a fine statement to make it, and that should be read as a critical but fair. I would be very curious to see if someone, like, how many years has it been since Fallout 3? It's been
7? I think 7
years. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Fallout 3 to this, if you hold them side by side, in this day and age, with the leaps of gaming and everything that we're doing right now, does it feel like a 7-year advancement? And I think if you answer yes to that, you got some rosy tinted glasses on, which is not the worst thing on planet Earth. It's fine, but I think it's also fair to say, to hope for more from. And the thing is, too, this is such a good franchise and such a well-made game that I feel like people should have higher expectations for them. If this was Candy Crush 7, like strawberry flavored, and we're like, well.
I'd have no expectations of Candy Crush. I'm just saying.
True. That's true.
That's the point.
I have none.
That's the point I'm making. You shouldn't have any expectations.
Yeah.
But I agree. I do think that having rose tinted glasses doesn't help a franchise at all. I think it makes it worse. And you really, I don't know. I don't like that. I know a lot of people were complaining about the graphics, but as long as the gameplay's fun. But one thing, a beef I have sort of with Bethesda is just like Skyrim. They come out with this game, and it's great. The base game is amazing, but it's the mods that make it just infinitely better. Like, they make it beautiful. You can, there's so many. They add things to it that you don't get in the base game.
They also just fix, like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. you pretty much have to play those modded on the PC. Well, not New Vegas, but the fanboys will cry at me for saying that. But Fallout 3, like, you pretty much have to play with mods on the PC.
Well, I had no idea when I was trying to play Fallout 3 on Steam. They're like, oh, you got to do something. I had no idea like how long it was going to take me. It took me like 2 hours.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Fallout 3 fucking playable after I purchased it on Steam.
Yeah.
That's actually why I didn't play it, because they're like, oh, you're going to have to mod it, and here's some videos on and tutorials, and you're going to read these and then do this. And I'm like, no, I am not doing that.
Yeah.
I just want to play a game. Like, I played Skyrim completely unmodded and had a blast. But I saw some of the mods for it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes it look so much better.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
And obviously mods are coming. I know. I want to say like one of the first mods, we were talking about this last night as well, so Jeff's heard this, but they replaced the level up noise with the John Cena meme. And that's like one of the first mods that I've seen for Fallout 4. So
John Cena.
yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty good. That's pretty funny. But
I actually would like to see. There's no colored hair. Apparently, you
like,
can't
what
make.
the fuck is this? What is going on here? You're just.
I am cheesing the death claw.
This is so still like, wow. How does this happen?
What did you do?
He fell in a pit, and I'm shooting the shit out of a death claw.
He's just running in place. He's like not even moving.
Great. He can't jump. Apparently,
this is also how I forgot about this other sequence. There's a random thing that I have, and there are things that happen in this world that you just happen upon that is really cool. That's why I play Fallout, just for the exploration portion of it. I walked up on this one camp. There's like an AI robot there, and there's a terminal over there. So I went to the terminal, hacked the terminal, turned the robot on. And this is like some super huge power droid, right? That you're supposed to fight. He's supposed to be active. He didn't move. And I meleeed the thing down for 10 minutes and finally killed him.
Excellent.
And it's like, I assume that's supposed to be a boss. It's got the little star next to it, so it's a legendary mob. And it didn't respond to anything that I was doing, while me and Dogmeat just sat there like fucking meleeing it, and him biting this piece of metal, which doesn't make any sense to begin with, but still. I was like, that's things like that is just upsetting to me.
Well,
a lot of people would be happy.
Time during a lot of these, like during any, name a Bethesda game like Oblivion, Morrowind, or Skyrim, Fallout's. Like I've spent time like beating enemies that I've had no business beating just because I found like little
exploit,
where they couldn't hit me.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Like that's kind of like part of it for me.
Yeah, and I think it's true for a lot of people that it's part of the experience for them for sure, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I just would enjoy things that work. I guess maybe is my way to say that.
Enjoy things that work.
Yeah, but all in all,
it sounds like for most people it does work mostly. So it's not. We're spending a lot of time talking about this, but that's because it's such a fucking good game and it's so well released.
Well, it's the biggest game, one of the biggest releases of the year for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and also they cleaned up some shit that was really annoying, like the inventory, or excuse me, not the inventory, the hoarding. You don't have to open the container to see what's inside of it. You see what's outside, and you just grab it, which is stellar. Which
this is a hoarder's nightmare, by the way. The amount of times that I'll
God,
I'll walk out of a
fucking figure out like everything requires.
Yeah.
Like oh shit, I need this, and this, and this, and then you can actively search it. And then it puts a little icon on it when you're out in the open world. And you realize that, oh shit, I need a bowling ball. I'll take a lamp. I want a dirty ashtray. I want.
So you can Skyrim it, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
And then you take these. You can take 3 bowling balls and a right hand bone and make a fucking chair out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The building aspect is. I spent 3.5 hours off stream last night trying to like build the perfect base. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of like, why the fuck, like, this is a bad idea. And one of them being that you can't, certain houses are entirely scrappable on, like, the little lots. Some of them are not. I was told that was actually said to be a bug, where that they do plan to have those entire houses to be scrappable, but it's just not right now, so you can't really plan out too much. But what a lot of people have done, what I started doing, is there's no... In the areas that you can build, there's a circle, and it's pretty generous in how big it is. But there's no limit to how high you can go. So I just started doing that, and I have this giant fucking fortress that's like almost the size of the circle, but it's 6 or 7 stories tall. So that's what and then it just has one entranceway with like 2 turrets. So then no one's ever going to be able to get in there. And that's what I've been doing in the building aspect of it. And I think a lot of people have been doing that as well. But it's also just kind of like there's not much to the building, at least that I've seen. And there's no reason to do it in game except if you want to get more materials. Maybe there is later on. But you don't have to necessarily do it to finish the game. It just seems kind of like something they added on for people to get into.
That sort of the same for Skyrim, though? I know I keep comparing it to Skyrim, but I played a lot of that game.
Yeah, I think everyone did, yeah. In what sense, though?
No, it's very similar. Like,
yeah,
you can definitely make comparisons to Skyrim or other Fallouts or anything like that. It's very, I mean, I do like that Bethesda is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of a mentality. Like,
yeah,
if you messed with certain core aspects of those games, it would totally change the feel of the game, and it wouldn't feel like you were playing one of their games, which, you know, this definitely feels like every other game you played with some tweaks, which is good.
Yeah.
And I think it's especially good because there's so much time in between the two of them too. Like, a lot of people get really accustomed to it and invested in, and super like, I played this for so long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if this was like a Call of Duty where it is fairly minor tweaks or huge, lately big changes, but it comes out once or twice a year, that'd be tough.
Yeah, yeah. To be corrected by Chad, apparently there is a height limit to it. I didn't know that. But yeah.
I don't know. I actually wasn't terribly interested in Fallout until I heard that there was building in it. I know that's really lame.
I lost myself in it for 3 hours last night, so it's enjoyable on that aspect.
And then I asked people, I was like, so can I like steal from people and then kill them and bring it back to my house and put it in there? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
So.
You can get you can even, it goes as far, and I haven't gotten it yet because you kind of have to spec to be that, but you can set up trade routes in between your different cities.
Holy shit.
Like on the map, I think they send out caravans from one point to another.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. I haven't gotten there yet. I think it's pretty deep into that skill set, but yeah.
Just go kill all of them and just take their stuff, right?
That's what I've actually done is I've scrapped literally everything in the first like 3 or 4 settlements that you find. Like everything I can scrap, and then I've just built my own place up in the sky. And you can actually remove ladders because it doesn't fall. So if I wanted to, I could just make it completely self-contained and not make it to where anyone can even enter it, because they could just be floating in the air. Because it doesn't, the physics of it don't have gravity in it in that sense. So it's kind of ridiculous, but it's still a lot of fun. Like, I'll definitely be spending a lot more time with it. The other aspect of Fallout 4 that I want to talk about is its effect on Twitch this past week, which for me has been really interesting to watch. And I've been talking with a lot of other broadcasters about it. I did not expect to wake up on Monday morning and see Cohh at around 64,000 viewers on Twitch. I think a lot of it is perfect storm. I think a lot of it is also that what he did for 6 months leading up to that was kind of make himself or declare himself the place to be for Fallout 4. And it's something that he preached for so long that eventually everyone was like, yeah, no, that's totally the place to go.
You believe it,
What I did, the other things I didn't expect was to see Lyric never go above Cohh in viewership. And almost every other channel has been down from their average aside from Cohh. And just their normal viewership on their streams, regardless of what they're playing. Lyric never went above 20,000 throughout his entire Tomb Raider playthrough, which maybe was because he was playing Tomb Raider and no one wanted to watch that over something like Fallout 4. I thought that was super interesting.
Well, I think it's also, people don't want it spoiled. They can't play it right now. Like,
but at the same time, people don't want Fallout spoiled? Like, what? Couldn't you make a counter argument that people don't want to watch Fallout because they don't want it spoiled? A game where it's sold so much more?
No, the difference, well, that's the difference. It's sold so much more, so people are playing it and then going and watching other people play it after they've played it some, versus, like, Tomb Raider, a lot of people can't play it. They're not going to be like, I want to go buy an Xbox so I can play this.
That's also true, is that people are probably waiting for other platforms, and maybe they were upset about it being Xbox exclusive. But
I think to your point, JP, this is going to be a game changer. Where, like, literally, when a big game's announced, people are going to look at the CohhCarnage model and be like, okay,
oh yeah,
I'm going to make myself the person. Because I believed it, like, just on the peripheral looking in, like, it looked like he was in with the devs. It looked like he's been a fanboy his entire life. It looked like his whole life revolves around Fallout 4. And if I was a casual fan or just someone that likes to watch people play games, which I am, but not necessarily for that, I would have gone to CohhCarnage. Like, I'd be like, that's the one I would watch.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see other people do the exact same thing.
I totally agree. I think it's a new trend that you'll see on Twitch. Yeah, 100%. What were we going to say, Zeke?
Well, I think, and also a big reason why Cohh is so popular and so is just killing it is because he is one of those cats that explores every single aspect of the game.
Right.
He wasn't like trying to go through, I'm guessing he wasn't trying to go through the main story really fast, 100%ing it, like exploring every single little detail of the game, and it's an interactive experience, and he's working with his chat to you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this.
I mean, I agree with you, and he's got a great community, so if you tune in and you're a casual viewer, I think you're going to have a really easy-going time. And I think he actually strikes a pretty good chord, too. He is a big stream, so one of the things that turns me off to a lot of streams is when you tune in, and it's not really super common, but it's like a greeting channel. Like, they're just like, hey, thanks for the sub, hey, thanks for the sub, hey, thanks for the donation, hey, thanks for the sub,
yeah,
hey, thanks for the donation, hey, thanks for the sub. Like, I don't really like watching that at all. And I think that, for the most part, the big channels have learned that, and it's kind of gone away from that. So it's a good experience, but to be honest with you, when you're getting to the 64,000 numbers...
Yeah, that was his peak concurred. That wasn't the average.
I don't think 40,000 people were like, well, I do want to see every aspect of Fallout 4. I think most of them were funneled in that direction, A, because big numbers attract more people, but B, because he advertised, like JP said, literally for 6 months. 6 months of come to this channel. And I mean,
he the other thing, too, that I thought was interesting is... not that he rebranded his entire channel. He went as far as to rebrand a lot of his emoticons. I mean, hell, he even fucking changed his beanie to look like the colors of the whatever. It was interesting because after seeing that, I saw other big streamers change their overlays to match Fallout and change what their stream looks like to match a little bit of Fallout. And that's not something that I've ever seen this particular streamer that I'm thinking about or talking about do. It was enough of a... wow, Cohh's viewership is insane right now. Let's try to emulate something that he's doing. I had never seen that on Twitch before. Or kind of the top 5 big streamers are trying to emulate something that someone else is doing.
If someone told me who are some streamers I should watch, or if someone asked me who are some streamers I should watch for Fallout, Cohh would obviously be one of them. I think everyone knows that by now. But I would also say Renee and Dan.
Dan, yeah.
But, well, Renee had good viewership, but Dan did not.
Viewership.
Dan
was below,
yeah, he had lower than his average. I think and granted, no one really has numbers because even the broadcasters have very hard times getting the analytics for all this stuff. But I think Dan was averaging around 7,000 to 8,000. When Cohh would go offline, that number would sometimes, most of the time, spike to around 10,000.
Yeah, I saw him at almost 11,000, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, and
That's
it was probably
a common event though when someone has huge viewership. Those are the people that would be watching Fallout dispersed amongst other people, but are now all in one spot, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because I was thinking, one of the biggest reasons, part of the perfect storm that Cohh created was that he was able to stream, along with some of the other streamers, at 8 o'clock Eastern on Monday morning. And for whatever reason, I have no idea why Lyric didn't have that.
I didn't either.
I had that, but I'm not going to wake up at 7 a.m. to stream. I'm just not that.
You had it and you didn't use it?
I streamed at 9:30 my time.
I was writing out emails. I was like, come on, guys, come on, help me out
here. And I think I got to
went back saying, we regret to inform you that due to the blah, blah, you're not going to be able to get
I think I had 4,500 or something. I don't know how many people had access to that. I would think it didn't seem like it was that bad to get, but apparently you had other experiences with it. But I think a lot of it was that he was kind of the first to stream it, and he streamed enough per day that everyone went back, because Lyric didn't. No other big streamer, I think, on Monday had access to it. When I say big streamer, I'm saying the Summits, the Lyrics, the Soda Poppins, etc.
Dude, kind of going off what chat's saying, I don't think Lyric's as big of a Fallout fan. I think he's made that pretty abundantly clear as well. Versus Cohh, the exact opposite.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but as someone who wants to see what Fallout's about, obviously I'm going to watch someone like Cohh who's into it and can talk about it. Versus someone that's going,
But historically on Twitch, that's never been the case. Lyric's always been the one that goes to 100K or spikes to that. It's never... That's why it was so interesting to see someone who averages, and this is probably low, 4,000 to 7,000 on a channel, spike to 30,000 normal. Like that is a
64.
Well, 64,000. Yeah,
64,000. That's
yeah, but that amount of spiking for that channel is like that doesn't. It's never happened on Twitch really. He got 30,000 followers in a single day. That's actually one of the biggest amount of follower gains on a channel by channel basis ever on Twitch.
And I think it speaks volumes to. It's like a concept we all know, right? Advertising has been around since the beginning of time, but as far as streaming goes, he took it to the umpteenth degree, and it worked. It paid off.
Yeah.
He's got a big enough fan base that it was always going to be.
It's always going to be good.
Nice, but he created. It's not even like fair to say like the image and stuff. I believe he is a very big fan of Fallout, but if you watch his channel, like, it definitely comes up. But in the last few months, he's made it feel like he literally has been waiting his entire life for this moment.
Right. Right.
Probably not true. It's probably, it's advertising and it works.
But exactly. I think you tune into his channel now and you're like, oh, this guy is 100% Fallout. Like everything on that channel is from the overlays to the emotes to almost everything on the channel is Fallout based. And I guess people kind of bought into that over the past couple of days and that's why they're watching it in such large numbers.
You do see a lot of I wouldn't say small view streamers, but you do see medium streamers. When I say medium, I mean like 500 to maybe 1.5 thousand. Like they usually average probably 700. You do see a lot of them at night getting higher viewership whenever all the huge streamers go to bed.
Right. Right.
Maybe Dan's still live, but I've seen a few people where like I've never heard of them, and they're at like 500 to 2,000 views, and I think that's pretty cool as well. Not just the people who already get lots, but the people who aren't used to that, and you see them just getting so many right now.
It's cool to see.
It's fair to say that next week it'll be at 50% of everything.
And that's also where I'm super interested to see is what happens in a post Fallout world. Like, where does
It's the Fallout world of the Fallout world!
Where does the new
apocalypse of the Fallout 4 hype?
Yeah, like what is Coh's new average? Like is he going to join the ranks of the 10K plus? The probably 10 streamers out there that have average 10K plus, or is it going to drop back down to his normal numbers? Like I don't even know if he could answer that. I'm sure he has general estimations, but I'm very curious to see where it falls back down to.
We saw it when he had that month of or month of 2 weeks or whatever, 15,000
for H1Z1,
yeah, when he was playing H1Z1, and his numbers doubled, if not more than doubled.
Yeah,
consistently after that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's not averaging 10K.
I feel like that's a different experience though. I feel like that was him trying out a new game, and then people were discovering he was fun to watch while playing that game. I myself watched those streams too because he went crazy on that. He got a little bit weird. He built a house again, and all these people came in, and then that just became fucking weird, which is awesome to watch.
Yeah.
With Fallout, I feel like there's the potential for that because it has the H1Z1 feel of like building your own place and socializing and stuff like that. But if what you're saying is you think he's gonna have 120, and I don't think you are, 120,000 people next week, I would call that bet.
Oh no, not at all.
Not gonna have.
It's already been dropping steadily since Monday. I mean, right now he's at 33. Yesterday's average was 36.
34,000.
Yeah, the day before that was 38. The day before that was 40. So like, it's dropping off each day.
By our estimates, he'll be at negative 5,000 next week.
He's only at 10 times my best day.
The other thing too is
I know, no joke.
Someone brought this up in chat is also he's playing. He is the kind of person, like Jeff was saying, where he plays so methodical and so I'm going to check every corner in this room that he could honestly stretch that out through early December with how much game there is in Fallout. So, like, I'm curious, like, will that audience stick around? I think it's an amazing case study for Twitch.
Yes. I respect people's... I mean, it's so cool, and the proof's in the pudding. Like, he does play it that way, and there's so many people willing to watch that, but I love you guys, and I tune in to all your streams just every once in a while, and his included. And I tune in, and I see him like building a garden and talking about how some people aren't allowed into his fort, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm out of here. I'm out of here so hard and fast.
It gets a little hardcore pretty quick, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but people are
not judging. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, for me, it's like the opposite. And I'm a competitive guy, obviously, so that's where it comes from. But it's like,
right. I think every Twitch streamer has to be competitive in some regard when it comes to viewership. But yeah, I thought that entire thing was super fascinating. And I was talking with a bunch of other broadcasters who have experienced something like that with other games on Twitch. There was a broadcaster during September and October who was averaging, well, not averaging, but would have days where it would spike to 30,000 plus. And then now with kind of the hype dying down around that game, he's back to like 8,000 or 9,000, but still the amount of viewership gained from those huge spikes was like 2,000 or 3,000 concurrent, which is pretty cool to see. Yeah.
Some of those people will stick around. A lot of those people just click the follow button anyways and check you out later. Like, it's just all so good.
Yeah.
So good. For the
Fucking Bob Zeke. Or Zeke Ross. What did you go with, Bob Zeke or Zeke Ross?
I think I went with Zeke Ross. Zeke Ross.
There you go.
Yeah, the joy of Fallout 4. We'll be right back. I did 2 more paintings too.
Oh, did you? What else did you?
I did one of a fantasy hot girl, like in like, you know, fantasy gear, and I was like, some happy little boobs right there.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
that kind of stuff. It was fun.
Nice.
A lot of fun. But I'll tell you this. It was so strange because I thought it was like Fallout 4 is gonna be fun. I'm doing a character, you know, it's gonna be good, and it was fun. But as far as like viewership went, I had way more than that playing fucking Undertale.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of streamers too.
To be frank with you, I had a lot more fun playing Undertale.
Exactly. Yeah, I've heard it's a pretty good game. I've seen a lot of other streamers this week because of like literally everyone else playing Fallout is they'll just switch to a game like Undertale or something that's not being played right now. I think like Soda Poppin was playing Bloodborne and his numbers were much better than they were when he was playing Fallout. And that's even interesting to me as well, is that like people, when I was playing Tomb Raider, they would come into my chat and be like, finally someone who's not playing Fallout. Like finally I can watch a different game.
I got that too.
That's why I went for Tomb Raider instead. Because it's like, I thought ahead and I was like, well, people are probably going to watch someone else for Fallout because there's so many people hyping it right now. And I thought specifically Dan, and Renee. And I was like, you know, I'm not really that terribly interested. It's not to say I won't play it, but I'm not like hyped.
Right.
I would say I was more hyped for Tomb Raider. So I was like, well, I might as well just go ahead and play it. And if people want to watch, then they'll watch. And so I've been having more fun, I think, with that than I would have just trying to jump into Fallout and compete with other people.
Exactly. So. Let's use this as a point. We've been going for about an hour and a half now to take a little break. We'll come back, talk all about Tomb Raider because I know Pocket's been playing it. I played a little bit of it. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Did you beat it, Pocket? Is it over?
No spoilerinos. I haven't beaten it completely. I think I've gotten pretty far though.
Okay. So. Well, we'll come back. We'll talk all about Tomb Raider right after this break. We're going to take a quick 3 to 5 minute break. We'll come back and be here with more Drop Frames. We'll see you guys in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. See you then.